Hello everybody. Today we're going to use trig ratios to find the sides of right triangles. We have our trig ratio sheet that we're going to need, so either have that printed out or you can toggle back and forth. Alright, let's talk about a quick little review of what we were doing the other day. So I have this right triangle. I know I'm going to find some sides or find some angles. So the first thing I'm going to do is I got to ask these three questions. Okay, I'm going to write these three questions down on every problem. You should probably write them down, but you have to be asking them to yourself, okay? So which side is opposite angle? And now, which angle do we put in here? Well, we're going to put the angle that we are using in the problem. So which side is opposite angle y? The side that is opposite angle y is going to be the other two letters in the triangle. So that's going to be FL. So this is opposite. I'm just going to shorten this up a little bit, right? OPP. Which side is the hypotenuse? The hypotenuse is, okay, in this one, FY. It's the side that's across from the 90 degrees. That's the hypotenuse, the longest side. Which side is adjacent to? Same angle. Okay? And that's going to be the third side that's not already marked off. So the adjacent is by default, okay, the last side there. Okay? LY. So here are our three trig ratios. The first trig ratio is the sine ratio. So the sine of theta, spelled S-I-N-E, okay, pronounced S-I-G-N, like a road sign, and abbreviated S-I-N. Okay, sine of theta. This is the Greek letter theta, which just stands for angle. Okay, sine of the angle is equal to the opposite side over the hypotenuse. The cosine of theta, spelled C-O-S-I-N-E, okay, abbreviated C-O-S. Cosine of theta is the adjacent side over the hypotenuse. And the last one is the tangent of theta, T-A-N, tangent of theta. You might have recognized these buttons on the calculator and always asked what they were. Okay, well, we're going to explain what they are now. Opposite over the adjacent, and that's spelled T-A-N-G-E-N-T. Okay, so there's a little story that goes with this about an Indian princess, Sokatoa, who dropped something on her foot, and in order to make her foot feel better, she has to soak her toe. And here's what the significance is. SOH is the sine is equal to the opposite over the hypotenuse. The next three letters in her name are cosine equals adjacent over hypotenuse, and tangent is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. It's just a way to help you, okay, remember the three trig ratios. So these are the three that we're going to need right here. All right, so let's try our first problem. This is just a screenshot of part of our trig sheet. All right, so we're going to ask these three questions. I am using angle A in the problem. So angle A, when the question is which side is opposite angle A, and that would be the other two letters in the problem. PM, so this is opposite. Which side is hypotenuse? AM, hypotenuse. By default, which side is the adjacent? AP. Next step is I circle the two sides that are involved in the problem, the opposite and the hypotenuse. That tells me right away which ratio to use. So I'm going to use the sine ratio. Okay, and now I'm just going to basically fill in the ratio and see what happens. Sine of theta, so I'm going to take the theta symbol out and put in 56. Notice I wrote the word sine. You're not dropping that off. Opposite, I'm putting in 8.3. Hypotenuse, I'm putting in x. Now I'm going to look at this chart and I'm going to come to 56. And I'm going to come down the sine column and I'm going to write those four numbers down. 8290. Okay? So if I have the four numbers after I find the sine of 56, then I got 8.3 over x. Here's a little trick. Put a 1 underneath. This looks like a proportion. So I'm going to multiply these. 0.8290x equals 8.3. that 8.3 is being times by 1, so just 8.3. Then divide both sides by 0.8290. And my answer is 10.01. Most of these problems will say round to the nearest tenth, so round to the nearest first. Okay, so we would probably say x is equal to 10, or it's about equal to 10. All right, problem number 2. All right, so this problem here doesn't have any letters on the corners of the triangle, so you get to use whatever letters you want. So I'm going to put in A, B, C, not for any great reason. Okay, I'm using angle C, so this is going to be C. Which side is opposite angle C? The other two letters. So this is opposite. Which side is the hypotenuse? AC. Which by default leaves this to be the adjacent. Step number 2, I circle the two sides I'm using. Which sides am I using? Opposite and adjacent. Which ratio was that from the previous slide? Tangent ratio. Tangent of theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Tangent, leave the word tan there. Take out the theta symbol and put in 14 degrees. Take out opposite and put in 12.6 over x. Now we come down our tangent column, come down this column. Okay, come over to 14. And I'm going to write 24.2493 equals 12.6 over x. Notice x is on the bottom again, so I'm going to drop the line here, multiply across, multiply the other ones, divide both sides by 0.2493. X is equal to 50.54. If the problem says round to the nearest tenth, you're going to enter in 50.5. Problem 3. So this is copied right off Delta Math. Notice it says to the nearest tenth of a foot. Okay, so go back to the same steps. I'm using angle L, angle L. Which side's opposite angle L? MK, I'm coming down here. I'm going to write O for opposite. Which side's the hypotenuse? LK. I'm going to write H for hypotenuse, which leaves my last side to be the adjacent side. Circle the two sides I'm using. I'm using the adjacent and the hypotenuse, so which ratio is that? It's a cosine ratio. So I'm going to take out the theta symbol. I'm going to plug in 76 degrees. I'm going to take out the A. I'm going to put in 99. And I'm going to put in x for the hypotenuse. I'm going to come down my chart for the cosine, and that is 0.2419 equals 99 over x. Drop a 1 under here. Multiply across. 0.2419x equals 99. Divide both sides by 0.2419. X is equal to 409.26. Round to the nearest tenth. So what do I have to enter in there? 409.3. All right. Now I'm going to show you a quick way, if you don't have that trig chart, where to find this number right here on any of these problems. Okay? Okay, you're going to go to Google and type in arc sine calculator. This pops up. Click off radians because you want to click on degrees. Very important you click on degrees. Same if you're using a calculator. You have to use degrees. On your calculator, go to mode, third item down, change it to degrees. Alright, so on the very first problem, remember, we had the sine of 56. Hit enter, and we had 0.8290. On the second problem, we had the tangent of 14, and we used 0.2493. It's just like using the chart. And on the last problem, we had the cosine of 76 degrees, and we used 0.2419. We used the first four of these just like using the chart. You got to use the first four. Most important, make this degrees. Alright, let's go try our last problem. Alright, our last problem. Step number 1. Which angle we using? Angle V. Which side is opposite of angle V? WX. I'm putting an O over here. Okay, I don't like when they use X, and X is also one of the vertices. Don't like that. Which side's a hypotenuse? WV. So I'm going to put hypotenuse here. Which side's adjacent? Okay, XV. Next step, circle the two sides that I'm using in the problem. Okay, not using the hypotenuse. So which one deals with the opposite and the adjacent? Tangent. Tangent of theta is equal to the opposite over the adjacent. Leave the word tan in here because I know the angle is 46. Opposite is x. Adjacent is 79. Go use my chart and find the tangent of 46 degrees. 1.0355 equals x over 79. Now notice the x is on the top, not on the bottom on this problem. Okay, so this makes it super easy. I'm going to multiply these two. 1.0355 times 79 equals, and I multiply these two. Check out what that is. X. X is equal to 81.8. Round to the nearest tenth. That's what I would put in my answer space. Hope you found this video informative, and I will see you on the next video.